Hi, Robert with Odd Random Thoughts, and I've got another Photoshop tutorial for you. This tutorial we're going to cover how to take a digital image and apply a color splash effect to it. Now you'll notice we have an image open already, but that image is locked. So what we want to do is double click here and click OK, and that's going to unlock our layer so we can work with it. Okay, then we want to duplicate this layer, and that's going to put two exact copies of that same image stacked on top of each other. Now that will allow us to manipulate the top layer while retaining the original image on the layer below. So now let's add an effect to this top layer. We'll just come up here to Image and Adjustments, and we'll go to Hue Saturation and bring your saturation down to -100. Now that's going to create a black and white image. Now let's zoom in so we can get a better view of what we're working with. And one method a lot of people like to use is the magnetic lasso tool. Just select that tool and we'll come up here and we will just hold down the left click and we'll trace that image the best that we can. Now this method doesn't always work with all images because the lasso tool is really hard to control, but when you get to your starting point, just double click and that's going to highlight all your selected area. Now go ahead and pick your eraser tool and just come in here and erase out everything within the lassoed area. Now you can get outside that lasso line because it's not selected. Only the area that's highlighted is the selected area, and that's the only area that will be affected. So if you hit Control D, that will release your lasso. Now you see we've got some areas in here that we've missed, and it doesn't look like a very clean edge, does it? So I'm going to show you another method for creating color splash where we can prevent this from happening. First of all, let's go back up here to our copy layer. We'll come up here to Layer and go to Layer Mask and Reveal All. Now you'll notice a little box appeared here next to your image area. That is your mask. So what we want to do is paint over that mask, which is essentially erasing it, but we want to be sure that we have 100% hardness on our brush, and we want to bring this size down a little bit more so we can control it better. As we zoom in on our image, just hold down the left mouse button and begin to paint those areas that you missed. Now you'll notice you have a black and a white swatch. If you hit X, you can toggle between those, and let's say that we got outside the line. You can come in here, hit X and switch to your black, and the black is going to color that mask back in, and you can clean up your edges. Okay, so there you have it. You've added a color splash to this photo, but the neat thing is that you can manipulate that top layer however you want. So let's select the actual image and let's come up here to our filters. Okay, we've got many different effects we can choose from. Let's go to Render Different Clouds. Now see, that only affects the top layer because that's what we had selected. So whatever is underneath stays original. Now that looks like an awful lot. So if we come up here to Edit and Fade Different Clouds, we can pull that back and soften those clouds just a bit. Now it's got just a little bit of a smoky hue on top. Pretty neat, huh? Now, we had the picture frame tutorial. Let's say that you wanted to add a picture frame to this image. First of all, if we come down here, we need to come to our original layer, and we want to convert this to a smart object. Now let's come and select our rounded rectangle tool, and we'll just come in here and cordon off our frame area. Now we want this layer to be the very bottom layer, so we want it underneath everything. And then if you hold Control and create a new layer, that will drop a layer to the very bottom. Then go in between your image layers and your mask layers and hold the Alt key until you see the little round circles. Click once, then come to this layer and click once again, and you've clipped off that masked area from both images. Now, if you hold Shift and hit the backspace key, that's going to open up your fill box. Here you can either pick colors. We could say pick a black, and then you have a black border around your photo. Or we could choose some sort of a pattern, and there's a whole bunch of different ones to choose from here. Let's go with rock patterns. I think that would look good on this, and we'll choose this one. So now we've created a rock border around our photo. Now it's kind of a straight edge, so like we learned in the picture frame tutorial, you can click on your frame mask, this little box here, and adjust your feathering. So let's bring that in just a little bit, and then you have a neat fade going between your picture frame and your image. So that's several ways that you can create a color splash along with other effects on your image, and also adding a picture frame. So I hope this has been a good tutorial for you. This is Robert with Odd Random Thoughts. Until next time.